Look at what he does.
He wants to hang with his mommy. He wants to hang with his Bobby. Okay, he can hang with me. He can hang with me. It's okay. Alright, we're gonna try this one more time. Alright, I gotcha. I gotcha!
Do you want our coffee?
This is the way that Bright Minded runs, just so you know. It's not the show without some tech difficulties. So do not worry. And now I've got a good system. I edit this thing together and it'll look like nothing.
Yes. Well, I had to go to my neighbor's house to get
No
Wi-Fi
way.
and use their phone. So that's where we're at right now. Thank
Oh
you to good
my
neighbors.
goodness.
Yeah, this.
It's
This is hilarious. My dog is like had it because we've been in here for like 2 hours.
Oh my
She's
God.
just starting to like eat the entire room. So
I had to ditch my dog downstairs, so I get it.
he's like biting.
Yeah, we can use this dog. There's
Hi,
another. My
baby.
neighbor has a dog.
If you see like these things bouncing around behind me, it's my dog.
Oh my God, you're such a hero that you do this every day.
It's so wild, and every day there's like a new tech thing that's happening. Like one day everything went out in my entire area, and that was the day that I forgot like everyone I had on my show, but it was like Reese Witherspoon and all of these people, and they're also all over the world. And then here I am like with no Wi-Fi, and it's just been crazy. But
The times that we live in.
yes, I know, exactly. Well, okay, ignore my dog thumping around. I want to start with, I'm super honored and happy to have you on the show. I wanted to start talking about it's actually perfect. I want to talk about challenges. I want to start talking about the challenges and setbacks of attempting to live zero waste lifestyle in the midst of COVID-19. You and I were DMing last night about some of the struggles. I think you're in New York. So what's changed at this time? What would be challenging about starting a zero waste lifestyle right now?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't suggest starting to try to live a zero waste lifestyle right now at all. I've definitely had to sacrifice a lot of my values in preparation for COVID. Whether it was, buying plastic packaged frozen food at the store, or, just not having the ability to compost in the right way. But I do think that there are ways that people can start reducing their waste right now, whether it's like trying a new DIY thing. So learning how to make your own toothpaste, or learning how to make your own deodorant, or some people that I know are starting to sprout. So there are ways that you can like try out new sustainable habits right now. But going zero waste right now, I think would be a disservice to yourself. And I think the most important thing that we should all prioritize is just staying inside, staying healthy, and staying clean.
I agree. And you especially don't want to start something in a time where this isn't something that's going to just be an easy lifestyle change. There are so many little wasteful things that we do every day that we don't think about. We can obviously think about the obvious. It's very obvious to think about our chips and drinks, and that's very obvious, but it's the little things. And right now we kind of have enough stress and anxiety, so I think anything that'll and kind of add any stress into your life. But like you're saying, there's little things you can do. You have a lot of time to research, so when you do have the time, you'll be more prepared. You'll be able to kind of like have your steps, so you can do a lot of research right now. What are ways that you can still be minimal and resourceful at this time, since a lot of us will be dependent on whether it's deliveries or ordering things online, trying to avoid going out into the stores? I know online orders and shipments are one of the biggest issues. How do you minimize that impact? What are creative ways to, recycle or reuse the packaging that we're consuming right now?
So something that I'm making sure that I'm doing is separating all of my recycling really well, so that after we're all able to go outside, I'm able to recycle in a way where I know it has the best chance of actually being recycled.
What is with that? We were talking about
crazy.
that last night. Like, how do you do that? How do you make sure you're recycling when you think you're doing the right thing is actually going to the right places and truly being recycled?
I mean, honestly, it's really, really, really hard. And it's totally a fucked up system, actually, because every single city has a completely different recycling system, different color bins, different things that they will or will not recycle. So basically, every city you go to, you have to relearn the rules. And that's one thing, because there's no, like, you know, cross-country cohesion with everything. It's just super hard to know what to do and what not to do. And that's why so little of what's actually recycled actually becomes recycled. So step one is just like understanding what in your city that you live in is actually getting recycled or can be recycled.
Okay, so it's all kind of based on location.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for someone
which I guess doesn't help at all.
Yeah, for someone that tours for a living, I'm like, I wake up in a different state. I don't even know where I am half the time.
Yeah, I know. So for me, like, one of the best things to do is just try to prevent anything that needs to be recycled in the first place. So always having reusables as much as possible. So a reusable water bottle. I always bring these stainless steel containers around with me for food. Composting is super amazing. And so I try to do that as much as possible. But trying to control waste where I can. I mean, ultimately, you know, if you're traveling all the time, it's going to be really hard to reduce waste. So I try to focus on the things that are like my little easy wins that I can do wherever I am. And so that's like having control over the toiletries that I bring, and the single-use plastic that I'm using or not using.
Right. That sounds like good little steps, especially for me, because it's really, really hard when I travel, especially if like you're not trying to check bags, and so you want to bring smaller items, so then you have to get like the minis, and it just feels like it's actually a question I had, like, what are some baby steps to reduce waste for the beginners? Because it feels like we're taught to consume from the earliest stages of our life.
Yep.
Like, I mean, even baby showers, like, it's just, we literally have these days, you know, then you have your first birthday, and then you have, especially with like babies growing so fast, and it just seems like from the beginning of our life, we're encouraged to consume. So what are some baby steps?
I mean, it really depends on what your lifestyle is like. So for instance, if you're traveling a lot, just touring a lot, some really easy things to do are, instead of maybe using single-use plastic package shampoo and conditioner, is like a shampoo bar, which is something that I use and I love so much because it can be used on your body and in your hair. It's super moisturizing and there's zero packaging at all. So that's something that's really great. But some of the most common forms of plastic that you see in the world are like plastic forks and knives, plastic straws. So just doing things like saying no to that helps so much.
That seems good. That seems like a, you know, something that's definitely things we could do right now, especially
like a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, that sounds good. So what are some of my questions? You're like getting on that. Oh, I was gonna say that zero waste lifestyle can seem really overwhelming, but looking at images of our oceans filled with plastics, and when you get images of landfills, that's really overwhelming. So I don't think anyone wants to intentionally hurt the planet. It just seems like, you know, zero waste is something that just kind of seems outlandish. So what are some, just before we sign off, like words of encouragement to a beginner? And I want to tell everyone to follow your Instagram also, because you always have things like the shampoo and stuff like that, and that will really help. But just some words of encouragement.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a big believer that it's not important or healthy to focus on what you're not doing. It's really important to focus on what you are doing. So I really believe that every positive step when it comes to reducing your waste is positive. So whether you're doing a tiny thing like recycling something properly or saying no to a plastic straw, that's a huge positive impact. So no matter how big or how small your choices are to live more sustainably or reduce your waste, they're making a difference. So I always like to celebrate the little wins. Just try to be really positive and not down on yourself for not being perfect. I think we live in a world where we're surrounded by sadness and catastrophe and anger, and it makes you feel like paralyzed. And, you know, I want to live in a world where I feel like I can take personal responsibility for my actions and that I have control over what I'm doing from a day-to-day basis, and that those actions are doing something positive. So I like to focus on what I can do every single day to align with my values of long-term sustainability and just have a positive impact on the planet.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for being on Bright Minded. Sorry I didn't it
Oh
gave
my
you a
gosh.
project. It gave you a project.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Thank you so much. And thanks for the poetry. I wish people would sing to me and read me poetry before I did anything. So it was
Really,
amazing.
really nice. I kind of am like I don't know. I get really weird about mushy. Like I won't watch any romance movies. I won't watch people kiss. If there's a kissing scene, if someone says, "Will you go see this movie?" I ask before, "Is there a kissing scene?" Because I won't go see it if there is. Like
Are you serious?
I hate the sound of it. I hate everything about it. I really don't like
That's so funny.
I don't like people pulling apart. I don't like them coming together. I don't like spit. I don't like mouth sounds. I have like a really weird, like it's like nails on a chalkboard kissing. So then I started dating a poet and an artist who everything is like in poetry constantly. And I pretty much just get forced to like kind of release some of that shell and like shed those harder layers sometimes even against my will. So
I mean, that sounds super healthy, and I've also never heard anyone say that in my entire life. So.
I can't deal. And like, I think it's because my mom is so obsessed with love. My mom is like obsessed. Like every book on her bedside table is disgusting to me. It's like mushy, all disgusting. And when I was a kid, my mom made me watch all of them, like Harrison Ford or Meryl Streep or like all the kissingest of all kissing. And so now I resent it, and it like just totally grosses me out. So I'm working on it.
Oh my God. I love the romance. So I'll pick up what you're putting down.
Oh, you'll take everything that I'm putting down. I'm putting all that. I only watch things that are funny. I try to keep it like.
What are you watching right now?
Pretty like, you know what's been really, okay, so the first week of kind of this crisis, and we kind of first in California, we started getting kind of locked down. Mm-hmm. I watched so much TV, and it altered me as a person. I'm very kind of, I'm like a parrot. So like whatever someone's kind of doing, I'll start picking up. So I started watching really trashy TV where everything is like so disrespectful. And so I started telling everyone like, this is so disrespectful, like about everything. And then I started realizing that I didn't recognize myself. I was just like, you know, Jessica from Love is Blind, or then all of a sudden I would just turn into all these different morphs.
Oh my God, I know.
That aren't like very healthy for me to become. So I've kind of avoided TV, and we've just been kind of watching some documentaries a little bit. Like we love the conspiracy theories, so we've been watching weird like alien things and stuff like that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's all we watch.
It is so funny how like if you watch reality TV, your life becomes more dramatic for some reason. I was obsessed with the Housewives and had to stop because I think it like made me break up with my boyfriend.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand. I guess it really is. I guess that's what life is. Like as a baby, you learn to be a human by watching someone else be a human.
Yeah,
and then you just
so
go,
true.
Oh, you're supposed to do this, and okay, this is how you be a human. So then if you watch someone that's making bad choices for like, you know, most of the hours of your day, usually, you know, a little Housewives here and there isn't that bad. When you're quarantined and like you can watch reality TV like it's your job. It is your job at that point. Yeah. So then I got way too into it. So I haven't been really watching much, and I've really just been focusing on putting my energy into the show.
Well, it's working. It's amazing. I literally can't believe you're doing this every day, and I'm so happy to finally meet you and be on. And thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for everything. Package Free Shop is badass. Love everything that you do. So I'm excited when everything like kind of gets back to the way we're used to it. I look forward to being in New York and seeing you, and I'll come by the shop.
You too. Bye. Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching Bright Minded. Tomorrow is going to be finale Friday. You know, from listening to all of the guests that I respect so much, I've heard be gentle with yourself. Take the time that you need to kind of heal and process. And so I'm going to need a little bit of time to also kind of deal with this pandemic in my own personal way. And so that means I'm going to take a little bit of time off just to kind of like process this on my own. So the finale Friday episode tomorrow is amazing. It's Elton John, Kerry Washington, Selena Gomez, and Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to ask Jimmy what he thinks of my talk show hosting skills. So this doesn't mean that it is the end. It's just me taking a week to process the pandemic like everyone else is. Love you.